It's a strange feeling to figure out that you've built your dream life, but you're still not happy. I wrote this in my journal, and I'm going to share it with you. On paper, your life appears as a man to be a success. You have a lot of things to be grateful for and a lot of things that you set out to achieve. Then why, at the end of your day, do you chase screens and video games and your next weekend and escape from this successful image? Why does the dream life you've built feel empty? I think on the surface, to those around you, you have a really awesome, really good life. You have a nice car, you have a cushy job, you make enough money, you might have a family, a girlfriend, you might have a partner that you adore and you've been with for a really long time. But something underneath still feels wrong. Even with the car, even with the house, even with the bank account and the success, you still feel like something's missing, like something underneath just doesn't fit. And maybe this life you've built is missing one core foundation of who you really are. And you've built it up over so much time and put so many layers over it to achieve the success that you have now that you've forgotten how to get back to that foundation and reconnect with who you are. Find that essential building block of why you started to achieve and become the person you are today in the first place. I think if you live in America like I do, achieving the American dream and being part of success is really important. And I think it's awesome. If you use your education, if you use your skill, if you use your trade, if you use your hard work to build something for yourself. So then why am I hearing from so many guys out there and so many of my friends and so many people in my circle, and even questioning this myself, that they feel empty underneath that they're just kind of drifting through their success and feeling like they're almost disconnected from who they're really supposed to be. I've been trying to figure out what that missing link is in me and a lot of other guys, and I'm by no means super successful or anything like that, but I've definitely chosen a life that makes me happy and a line of work that makes me happy and hobbies and goals like getting outside that fulfill me in different ways and getting away from screens. And there's a lot of guys who do that too with no questions asked, no problem, but they still feel that aching drift of pain under their success or a longing for something. And for a while, I thought that longing for me was getting outside into nature and disconnecting from the screens. For a while, I hear a lot of guys think it is the screens that are the problem and too much consumption. But I started to reframe that and really examine it in my thoughts in my journal. And what I started to realize was that the screens are just a symptom of escaping for a lot of guys, and including myself. It's a symptom of how overworked you are and sometimes how overstressed you can be with no outlet, but also tending to ignore that feeling underneath like something's missing. And screens can just be a really great escape into other worlds instead of dealing with that missing piece. And no amount of success or money or safety or shelter or whatever can really fill that void of what's missing. I'll show you in my journal what I've been working on out here. So we have this idea that success in life means we're going to be satisfied. And there's a missing link here. I'm finding that success doesn't always lead to being satisfied. Money is supposed to lead to safety. If you have enough money, you have a great career, you've built your own business, you have a safety net, you're supposed to feel like you can conquer anything. But that's not the feeling we're getting. We're still getting this feeling of being empty and unfulfilled in our life because something is missing. The blueprint we've created for ourselves just still feels hollow at the end of the day, and we can't explain why. And we don't really have anyone to tell it to. So we wrap our identity in our achievements. We think that because we've achieved so much, our identity should be this person that we've built up. We're the guy at work, we're the family man, we're the successful entrepreneur, but our identity is lacking something. We're feeling like there's someone on the inside that is just screaming to get out. They're aching for something more. They're aching for something underneath that distress of this success. You're obviously grateful for the life you have and the life that you've built, and you're grateful for all the things that you can call your own. But you don't want to sound ungrateful by telling people around you that you're not quite happy day to day with all the things that you appear to have. It's really hard when you have no one to talk to about this. When you find that if you tell your spouse or partner, it almost sounds like complaining. Well, you have so much and you're so grateful for your life. What's wrong? And you can't tell coworkers that. Maybe you're the boss and you have to maintain this image of professionalism and holding the ship together. You're the captain and there's a lot on your shoulders. You can't appear weak or vulnerable and tell people that, hey, I have all this stuff and I've built this amazing life and I have this amazing family and all these friends. And from the outside, there's a lot of people who would kill to have what I have. But underneath it all, I'm just drifting day to day and I feel kind of numb. There's something missing. There's something that I can't quite understand. And there's honestly nobody for me to talk to about it. And that's a big reason why I'm making this video and I started this channel. I'm starting to understand that this numbness, this feeling, this drifting, this whatever is missing underneath that I'm trying to explore in my journal and my thoughts and talk to other guys about is so common these days in the modern world. And there's so many people with this idea of success, but underneath it, they're just feeling drained and empty, that I wanted to open up this channel as a space for that. And I want guys to feel like they can reach out to me or reach out in the comments and not feel so judged. I want this to feel like a safe space for brotherhood and to know that you're not alone. And it's okay to feel like you're not ungrateful. You're just working through something that you can't quite figure out. You're trying to put words to a feeling that's bothered you for quite a while, and the screens and the video games and the alcohol and the food and even the weekend getaways, everything's not curing it. It gets worse over the years and it gets harder and harder to talk about or identify. So feel free to reach out in the comments and put your thoughts on this issue if other guys are feeling this mindless drifting, this success you've built, this dream life that you've built for yourself somehow feels empty. It's such a strange and conflicting feeling to have that I want more people to start expressing themselves about it and to feel like my channel is a safe space for that and to not feel afraid. You're anonymous here, you're on YouTube, your family doesn't know what you're searching or watching night to night. Just honestly, put your thoughts in the comments and reach out. Let other guys know you're feeling the same thing so we're less alone. I love you guys, and the dream life you've built is amazing. Honestly, you should be grateful every day, and I know you are. But if you're struggling with that thing underneath, where you feel like you've built this image of yourself, and you're not really taking time to reconnect with who you are or why that's bothering you, this is your safe space. And my name's Eric. Don't feel like you can't talk about it. A lot of us out there are just waiting for you to speak up, and we're ready to listen. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time from the woods.